Testing, 1, 2. Okay, testing, 1, 2, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back to day 2. This morning, sunrise ceremony was conducted, and it was a very awesome sunrise ceremony, especially since our Gets It our Gets It Asinaway, he asked, we were talking yesterday about everything is in balance, amongst our, how we do things in our Anishinaabe nation, and so it was important that Richard talked about, that Elder Gets It, Richard Asinaway talked about balance again, and he asked one of our Anishinaabe to use her pipe and start off the sunrise ceremony this morning, acknowledging the morning star. And then when she was done conducting her pipe, he lit his pipe, and so it was a very powerful ceremony this morning, to get us ready for the start of a new day. And so that was quite interesting and very powerful. So we're going to start off again with Chigeezus doing an opening song for us to get us going here this morning. So take it away whenever you're ready, Chigeezus. Miigwech. Awesome song to get us started, get our hearts pumping, get our minds focused on the work we have to do today. Is the Zoom back on? Okay, we welcome all the participants out there in Zoom land. We kind of ended the day yesterday with a little bit of a recap, about the discussion surrounding the responsibilities and the meanings behind, several of the clans here. And we're going to carry on with that a bit this morning. But towards the end of the day yesterday, we were answering questions that were posed, to Chop and to Richard about, questions regarding the clan issues. And there was still one question came in late, and I promised that it would get dealt with this morning. And anyone else, either on Zoom or here present, if you thought of some question or comment that you wanted to make over the course of the evening and want to raise it now, we'll start off that way. How does Star People come, and how are they placed in our clan teachings? Do you have that hands-free mic available? Here it comes.
Bonjour, tenez mange de dik, nem ki al koten de go. Op een nest kan uit, mooi te zijn gaat doen te, ja. Mi got ja, mi nomen de toe, mi nomen de niet naar weg, ik ben betek ook tot. Ik ben zo weer dus naar weg. Kan je maar starters kotek kaning zijn wa. Ik ben daar kwijt nest zijn man. Mi got de nage no gek. Je know we hebben het mij naar te koken, mijn hebben het waard mij naar te koken. Mijn het kopen te gaan, je hebt mijn ongeting. Waarom dat niet snappen? Mijn ongeting, mijn gesabi gaan, mijn wordt zijn de moment dat maar. Mijn wat gaan hier komt tages te niet snappen, mijn ongeting, met het doet. Aha, gaan kunnen we taal man geven dat toe, ik zeg ook dat niet snappen. Good morning, everyone. I just gave thanks in the language from this morning, how we started off today, sunrise. Acknowledging these sacred items here, the gifts that we received that lead the way. So the question that was asked, how does that relate to, I guess? The way I understand it, Kenny, is everyone in this room, we are known as Star People. That's who we are. We're connected with the Nanguk, the star world. And if you look at the stars, that's where they can tell you a lot about weather, seasons, everything. If you can read them, when you look up. And you'll have that in you, how you're connected with the star people, because you're always looking up in the sky. Every one of you, you're always looking up. You stargaze, whether you're camping, driving along at night, laying down in your bed by the window at night when the moon is shining in. We always look up. And while we look up, it's kind of like we're going back in time to where we came from. So if you look at the Dipper, the Big Dipper, and you count those stars on there, and how many stars? 7. There's 7. And that's what you see in here. Get you knocking again. Those 7 teachings, 7 clans. So on that Dipper, there used to be 8 stars. 4 corners to make the bowl, and 3 for the handle. There used to be one more star there at the end. Abhishagewa, where's that one? That's when that star came down beneath Sanaa. And that's us. So that's why we're known as Nisnave, not really Anishinaabe. Nisnave, lowered being. Lowered being. That's who we are. And we connect with each and every one of these clans. On that dipper, each and every one of those stars, those are the clans. They're all clans. And they all help each other. Natamatuk. And like Mnedu, the creator and the stars, they will never disown us. They'll never leave you. People will disown you. But those clans never will. Those stars never will. And they'll come to you sometimes. Sometimes what we call anabi winik, they call that. Anybody know that word, what that means? Anabi winik. What that means in English, ceremony. Anabi winik is ceremony. And that's when you go with the, what's that? Madotsakan, Sweat Lodge. In there, you will get visits from the star people when they shine their little lights while you're in there to look after you. No, that's what they do. Don't ever forget them. No. They love us. That's who we are. So we are known as star people. That's who we are. There's star blankets out there. A miss that I carry, that grandfather pipe that I received, that's his name. His name is Gijanung. Day star. I have a star on there, 8-pointed star. And you've seen it probably this morning at sunrise, or when you see me do ceremony, you'll see that star on that. I just didn't put it on there one day. I had to ask what that's for. That puagan that I received one time years ago, I took it to the sheikh tent at East Gun. I asked, what's this for? I'm not just going to get up and use it. I need to know what it's for. And the elder says, oh, keep me to go. You were given that. And that one is for any ceremony, all ceremonies. Doesn't matter what it is. And he has a name. Nagishanang, Day Star. What is Day Star? The sun. That's that star. So I hope I answered that question, the one online there. That's what I know of, Gini. Naha, Ama.
Chop, did you have anything you wanted to add to that? Okay. So I hope Paneshi Gustin was listening. She'd asked, he or she, Paneshi Gustin asked that question very late in the day yesterday, and I indicated that we would raise this morning. So hopefully Paneshi Gustin was tuned in. Does anyone else on Zoom have anything in the chat at this point? Technical crew over there, anything in the chat right now? Nothing? How about in the room? Anyone have any questions before we get Chop back up here to begin his teachings for the day? Anyone else in the room have a question or a comment? Okay, I think we have someone, please use the microphone. And just as Chop is taking the microphone over there, I was reminded yesterday, and I'm respectfully asking everyone, keep your side conversations and your ringers on your phones off as much as possible, because the acoustics in this room and for the folks on Zoom, they're having a difficulty hearing some of the conversation. So thank you for that. Go ahead.
I was thinking last night about the Hoof clan, and I was just wondering about horses. Like, do they fit in there, or because like I heard somewhere, northwestern Ontario, that there was like wild horses. They're like in the shrubs, like they're shorter, smaller. But I was just wondering, like, how the horses, how do they fit with the Hoof clan? You know what?
I saw that article as well about the Northwestern Ontario horses there. Apparently they're called Ojibwe ponies. Yeah. Short like us guys from Monday Kamnakonik. We don't have any tall guys in our community. Go ahead, who's going to respond to that?
Bonjour. Donc, j'avais what? Shin, that Hoof clan, like I was talking about yesterday, I think I touched on it a little bit. But like I said, we explained a few things this morning at the fire. And we can only say so much, because that Shkorea Khan is very, very important to have in these teachings. And when there isn't one here, we can only say so much. But that Hoof clan coincides with each one of them. And Mirjgoji is very, very important. He's given us a dance, he's given us songs, and there's only specific times that those are sung. For the different nations that are out there under that Mirjgoji, that horse clan, they will automatically identify specific things in especially when it comes to working with one another. Because in that clan, they're a very social clan. They like to laugh, they like to have fun, but they like to do it in groups. When they gather, they share their own teachings themselves in the Hoof clan amongst each other. And they share that amongst the people. When the Hoof clan came this way, specifically Mirjgoji, he was asked to do a trade. He was asked to trade something very, very important from that specific clan to the clan that was here, Mwashkesh. What that was that he came and he brought that dance to them. He gave them the songs. And when those songs are sung, the Mirjgoji nation, as soon as they hear it, they'll start to dance. I haven't seen this done here in our location yet. But I know it's coming. A lot of people have already asked if it is going to be here soon, that specific dance, and gradually in time that dance will come, because that was given to us as Anishinaabe people. But more importantly, that dance was also given to all nations, because we traded horses. This is one of our trading franchises that we used to do. We used to give horses in ceremony. And nowadays, the horses that are given nowadays are 454 horsepower outside. But again, Anishinaabe people, we have to adapt to the environment. And these are the gifts that are given. These materialistic items that we have, Mishke, look at right here in front of us, these bundles. The materialistic items that we pass, we can't take them when we leave here. So they're passed. This is why it's so important that we acknowledge these items that we have and the importance that each and every one of these items represent. Because they can be passed. But remember that when they're passed, there's also responsibility with them. Just like that horse, just like that dance, just like those songs. There's responsibility beside them. So when we pass these items, we were talking about it yesterday, about when we're doing specific ceremonies, especially when it comes to our drums, we make sure that when we join together, we bring this first, because this is a part of what that clan has given us. This right here. It's a very, very important item. This is why we harvest only what we need, and we utilize every single component of those animals. We share them. Miigwech.
There's so much to learn about that one. Like my brother shared, gave me what I know of it. They're very sacred. And back in the day, that was the automobile back in the day to get somewhere. And that Beshiguji, why they call it Beshiguji in the language is one nail. Like, you know, our fingernail, one nailed. It's one complete, one piece hoof. Beshiguji, they call. Sacred, that one. And there's not a big dependent on that, travel here and there. But what gift does it have? Kanagate is mikwa, it'll look after you. Our Anishinaabe way is very important. And what that's for is to have that gift, ability to hunt, to track. Same with a horse. That's why it has a long mane and a long tail. But Angwa was in this, be careful, because I was raised in horses, and I've seen it. There's another hoofed one that likes to ride that at night. And you know, there's noise, kicking the walls, the ceiling part. Let's go then. But you stand behind me. We took a flashlight. And he opened up the barn door. I can see the horse standing right there and butt. And I noticed something. You know what I saw? The horse's tail was braided into fine, fine dreadlocks. And we shined the light to the mane. The whole horse's mane was all braided in dreadlocks. And my grandpa says, Meopatigo, Dama, just what I thought. Ombe. I go, what? Ka. And we left. And I had a hard time sleeping that night. I wanted to go and check that horse in the morning. So I went up to the house and asked my grandpa, we got to water the horses. Ombe. Went back to the barn, opened up the barn door. The horse still standing there, but the dreadlocks were gone. It's like someone came in and brushed its tail. Real nice, straight, even the mane. Horse was quiet. We untied him, brought him out. It was like nothing ever happened. And who rides that one at nights is that hoofed one. No, I think some of you, all of you may know what that one is. Don't ever seek that one. That's the one that's taking control of our communities. That's why there's lots going on in our communities. Because it rounds them up. Drug rules, all that stuff. Now, it's good to have those horses around, but look after them as much as you can. The way you look after you, the way you look after it, they'll look after you the same way. And they sense, they have those gifts. But you need to honor them once in a while through songs. They'll dance for you. And what they bring to you? Healing. They bring healing. And that tail it has, you know what that's for? Is to ward off. To ward off something. That's why he uses his tail. So that's why regalia, some traditional dancers, they will have that on, horse tail, to ward off something. I have it too. I wear them on my arms. But that horse of the Hoof clan that you talked about, you asked, there's another sub-clan to that. And nobody really cares about that one. It's almost like, when they see it. And it's called Memongchen. Donkey. A donkey. That's a very Uji too. That one too is gifted. That's a 4x4. It works hard, that one. But why do farmers keep it? Only for one reason. And that reason is this. That's the only one that can kill a wolf around the farmer's property. A horse can't do it, a cow can't do it, but a donkey, that's what it's for. That's why farmers have them. They're protectors. That's their gift. They're protectors. They may not look like much, but they're powerful. So that Hoof clan, they got lots of after. Even yesterday, we didn't talk about all of it. All the deer, buffalo, moose. It's going to give you its hide to make this, drums, rattles. Offer themselves to us. But how many times have we thanked them? Not too often. Mia, you got you.
Okay, I guess I don't see anybody else with their hand up for a question or a comment, so we'll start the teachings off. So I'll turn it back over to you, Chop.
I guess just trying to reiterate what we were talking about yesterday. And I know we did go through quite a bit, but I forgot a couple of things in each one of these clans that I think I need to kind of go back a little bit and kind of touch on them, just Bungisha, just a little bit. I was asked a couple of times actually to share this one just over the past 24 hours. I'm usually in Facebook jail. And I haven't been rehabilitated yet. But when we look at these kinds of things and we kind of sit back and laugh, you know, how funny these clans really are, you know, and what they bring to the table and what they represent. Even the individuals themselves, they share a lot of these characteristics within themselves of each one of these clans. And then you look at, we'll look at that Wabijeshi. There's one individual in there that I didn't really talk about, but I think I should, because he's very, very important. No matter how small an individual is, what I've come to recognize, especially in each one of our clans, is that the smaller the individual, the more powerful they really have to be. Just like that Hoof clan, that donkey. Because even the small ones there will scare you. And each and every one of us are very terrified as soon as they see these kinds of things, even in our own houses. But there's a clan out there that exactly are like that. Wabaganojins, Jinkarit. That clan is very, very powerful. That clan translates into a mouse. That's what that I've met about 5 or 6 individuals from that clan. And this is one of those sub-clans of that, the Martins. They're so powerful in their own way, and what they bring is that resilience, is that the resilience to withstand. And these are the ones that we tend to forget about. And they'll scare us. I guarantee everybody in this room screamed at one of those little things running around in their house at least once. Or jumped on a chair. Or shot a broom at it. But these are the things that I was talking about yesterday, is that the ones that are forgotten. You know, they're not forgotten, they're just not spoken of. And each one of these clans has one of those smaller members of that clan, the sub-clans that they have. Just like that little 4x4 in the Hoof clan. And then we look at our visionaries. Because there was one individual in there, one clan, that kind of slipped my mind, and then on the way out over here driving, it reminded me, because it came up to my vehicle just before I was leaving at the fire pit over there. And he was over there yelling at me, "Don't forget me, don't forget me." So I have to make sure that I share this one with you. I met a man in Chisasby when I was up there. And I want to acknowledge him. He was the only one that I've ever heard able to mimic his voice, that bird. I've never met an individual that can mimic exactly like him. And I met this guy maybe around 1997, 96 maybe, when we were invited up. And he said, I was given one of those gifts from that clan to mimic that voice of that bird. And what that bird brings is protection and warning for that clan. And all you hunters out there, your harvesters, you get mad at this bird because he kind of announces your presence when you're hunting out there in the bush. No matter where you go, even as soon as you open your vehicle door, they'll call you out right away. And these individuals that sit in this clan are the exact same way. That Blue Jay, that clan sits underneath that. Because even if you look at the Blue Jay, his feet, they have small talons. They're a part of that Talon clan. And he brings that protection for the community that is there, wherever they reside in. A lot of the time when they're protecting the land, they're warning leadership that something is there, something is going to happen. So small as they may be, protectors, they're still. I just thought I'd share that with you guys as he did come to me this morning. I just kind of had to laugh because I knew he was getting mad at me because I didn't share that yesterday. But I know my brother wants to share a little bit here too about that.
Aha, miigwech, dikot. Aha, wawabaganurji, as we know of it. Like you said, a lot of people are afraid of it, even still today. But you know what? That little one, that one actually shapeshifted. It shapeshifts. How Nishnaba used to do that too, shapeshift into something else. Wabaganurji does that too. Even though you're still afraid of it, there's going to be one day in your life that you're going to actually touch it. Tickle it, even. And you're probably wondering, yeah, right. You did. And you're still tickled it today. What's that one? It's on your computer, that Wabaganoji. That mouse that you use on your computer. You tickle it once in a while. That's how it shapeshifted. And that one is here for a reason too. Never be, or try not to be afraid of it. They're there for a reason. Now, there was a time when I heard this. Elders talk about that. Minikoyok, they were drinking. They were drinking Nagamisajagan, moonshine. These two old guys. And one of the guys has a cat as a pet. And he says, oh, Maman, give my cat. We have a mouse in here, but our cat cannot seem to get it. He chases it, the mouse goes back in the hole in the wall. No matter how hard my cat tries, it can't seem to. And I've been trying to get that mouse too. Oh, that old man says, here's what we'll do. We'll put some moonshine in a little container. We'll offer it to the mouse. He'll drink. As they were sitting, chatting, talking, they saw that mouse coming out of the hole. He starts sipping that. And then the cat saw it. The cat chased it. Mouse went back in again. Comes back out, takes a few drinks again. And the mouse didn't come out for a bit. And the mouse came out of that hole. And the mouse says, come and stand up on his two eyes. And he goes, aha! Oh, be sugar, look. Where's that cat? rolls up his sleeves. Aha, I'll be the Shwagashk. So every animal we talk about, we have stories. Laughter. That's who we are. We got to have that. That's medicine. Nothing can ever top that. Laughter. So that's the one about Wabaganouji, the mouse. Now I'm going to jump into Blue Jay. Okay, get sacred. If some of you is here or have or want to go, when you want to go fasting, whatever you do, don't accept the first gift. Don't accept that first gift. That gift is from the Blue Jay. Once you see that, once you accept his presence, he's going to take something away from you. And that's when you start to feel like, oh, I don't know if I should be here. I can't do this. Something else takes over. That's what the Blue Jay does. It'll take. It wants to take something away. Bird feeders, if you have them, you'll see that. When you want to feed the Orioles, chickadees, with shamak, with the seeds, bird seeds, Blue Jay will come right there and take it all. Take. That's what Blue Jays do. But that doesn't mean they're bad. So wherever you are, they'll try to do that, but don't accept it. Acknowledge it. Thank them. You just simply say, thank you for coming. Like Chop said, leadership, you'll see that in your travels too. They want to take something away from you. They'll try to take something away. And that's just their gift, what they have. But just understand them as much as you can. But respect them, Aha, miigwech.
So as we go through some of the smaller clans, the sub-clans, like my brother said, we always have to remember that we have to have fun too. We have to laugh. Because like I said yesterday, if you can't laugh at yourself at least once a day, there's something very, very wrong. I think when I'm at work, I think I laugh at myself more often than I should. Because of the team that I work with. We have try and put this together. We have 2 Wolf Clan members, a Martin clan, her son, and then we also have a Fish clan. So when we come together, we share a lot of ideas, we share a lot of stories. We try and be as serious as possible, but we end up laughing about it after. Sometimes it's a very, very serious situation, but we always find humor in it. Just like last night. We brought that medicine over to Xingguaning. We were out there last night. We were preparing one of our leadership to walk through that doorway, preparing him on his journey. And like I said, this is the importance of understanding how these clans work and the humility that's in all of it. Because we have to bring that laughter. that medicine is very, very powerful, especially with each one of these clans. Because like I said yesterday, I'm going to tease all these clans. Today, I'm going to do that. I'm going to point out some characteristics on yourself that you may not be aware of, including our Chickamauga sitting in the background. Because it's very, very important. That teaching is very, very important to have. When you sit down with your family, and I know a lot of families sometimes have a hard time because sometimes families don't get along. Sometimes families don't see eye to eye, and that's okay. Like I said, opposition is good. It's good to have in a family. It's good to have in a nation. It's good to have in clans, because brothers and sisters will always fight no matter what. They'll fight over whether my coffee should have 2 sugar or 3. Sometimes it's the small things that we argue over. But in the end, no matter how bad you argue, laughing about it later. Just like what happened last night, we were sharing a lot of stories about my friend Joba. We were sharing all that good energy, that good medicine with the family that was there last night. And powerful teachings those is to bring that humor, that laughter to our clans as well, our families, our communities, even our leadership, because sometimes our leadership needs to laugh too. Sit back and kind of chuckle at themselves if they trip up stairs, not down the stairs. Because a lot of people do that. And when you talk about the smaller sub-clans, like the small, tiny ones, they're sometimes the most powerful ones out of them all. And they'll bring a lot of teaching with them. Just like the one I'm going to talk about with the Chichok. Everybody, I'll use an example that my dad actually shared with one of the clan teachings that I was with him down south a few years ago. And it always kind of resonated with me because I can actually see it, and it was actually really, really funny. Because this one also brings that laughter and humor. Its brothers are the Roadrunners. Okay? You guys all watch Bugs Bunny before? Like the original Bugs Bunny, not the Bugs Bunny nowadays, where you get to see them get blown up and stuff like that, right? That was the best one. So everybody on YouTube over there, you remember that. That's very, very important. I am a Bugs Bunny fan. He used this as an example. He said, you remember that bird, that Roadrunner, and you see that coyote chasing him all the time. The Chichok has a small little bird like that. And when he runs, you can see how he runs exactly like him. He's very, very quick on his feet. But small and powerful he is. What he brings there is that joy and that laughter, sharing specific items with that clan, that leadership clan. Because this, again, is a part of that humility, is where, no matter where they are, that Crane clan will be standing in the water, and then those little pipers are there, playing and having fun, teasing each other, because you can actually see them playing with each other out there. They bring that joy to that clan, so they can remember that it's okay to laugh too, even in serious situations. We have to find that. We have to find that humor out there when we don't have it necessarily in even in ceremony. So you have to remember all those kinds of things, especially when we're working with clans. Because if there's no humor, there, like I said, there's something wrong. You have to laugh. You have to be able to make fun of each other. And this is where those barriers break, what I was talking about yesterday, when you build those founding blocks of relationship. When you break those barriers down, that's when you're really going to see Anishinaabe people. When you break that barrier, you're going to see who they really are. You're going to see the clan, because it's going to be sitting right on their sleeves, and they're going to be laughing away at every single thing that you say after you break those barriers. Because like I said yesterday, Anishinaabe people are shy until you break those barriers, until you get that love and respect, until you get that trust from them, until you get the honest truth from them. Once you get that, I guarantee you that you'll have success in any sort of relationship, no matter what. Whether it be trying to find a partner, whether it's trying to find a workspace, when you want to try to create anything. Those are the founding blocks of creation. Every single person in this world has received that first teaching. No matter if you're red, white, black, blue, purple, pink, polka dot. You could be somebody from the Star Nation and come down, and they'll understand that very first teaching. That teaching is very, very important for each and every one of us to remember to use every single day. As we go through the rest of these two clans today, we're going to kind of go back a little bit, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean about understanding not only the sub-clans, but also the sub-grandfather teachings. And just touch on a little bit of the grandmother teachings as well, before end of the day today. Because Anishinaabe ways of life is about balance. Everything is balanced, just like this morning. But it was always the grandmothers that would lead the way, not the men. Everything that the men have was given to us by our grandmothers. Every single thing. We're only the carriers of these things. We have to remember that first teaching, every single one of us males, because we forget it every single day. And we're all guilty of that. So when we look at Shika, we look at that turtle clan, we look at that fish clan, and then we start to think, well, what would be there as a clan? I've only met one person from this clan on my travels so far. And what that represents is that, like I said, although it may be a small clan, they are very, very powerful. And they're very, very fast. And you can find them in every single water body out there. Having said that, these are the ones that have a direct line to the Star Nation, the Star World. The gifts that they were given from them were camouflage. You wouldn't even be able to see them. They were also given the speed. Because they were so small, everything was a predator. But they were also protecting specific areas of the water. They were given those teachings of water. They were given the teachings of hibernation, growth, development in that clan. Minnows are very, very important, that clan, especially to that subcategory. Their teachings that they bring, no matter, like I said, no matter how small they are, they're very, very powerful beings. So when we look around and you'll watch them, because they'll travel in a school like that. All of them. And usually when you can identify them, they'll be together in a group. Just like the Hoof clan. The Hoof clan members are usually the same way. They kind of stick to their own little Hoof clan members and share those things. But again, it's that laughter. It's that humor. You know, although they're small, you know, they might be funny looking, but they bring a lot of teachings with them. Nastatam? Shkuzena. So as we're moving along, I want to make sure that we're going to do this a little bit differently today. I know many of you might be sitting where you're supposed to be, but what I want you guys to do is look at these clan banners that are behind you and sit in the relative area of your clan. If you're not there already, kind of go where you're supposed to. Mina, did I confuse everybody already now? Because today is going to, like I said, today is going to be a little bit different. And what I want you guys to do is talk amongst your clan. Okay? Talk amongst your clan. And I want you guys to appoint a chief to speak for you. Okay? What we're going to do today is we're going to keep today as interactive as we can. I want you guys to be a part of this teaching. Because in order for you guys to be a part of this teaching and for you to remember everything that we're saying, you guys are going to learn a little bit more. It's going to open your mind a little bit more. These horse blinders are off. Take those horse blinders off and keep an open mind from here on out. Right now, there is no leadership amongst us. There's no leadership here until you guys appoint one in your specific clan. And these clan members are going to stand up and acknowledge their clan behind them. You're going to stand up behind them. And you're going to speak. Why this is done is that Chajajgona, this is how leadership was appointed. Every single member would select one individual, and then they would stand behind them. If there was conflict there, the conflict of that clan would ask for assistance from a different clan as a mediator. These were our mediators over here, the Fish Clan members. So when we needed guidance, when we needed assistance, we had to make sure that this was available for all of us. So I'm going to give you guys one topic to speak about, okay? And I'm going to give you about maybe 5 minutes to talk amongst yourselves. But in that 5 minutes, I want you guys to select someone to speak, okay? It's just going to be a very generic, easy topic for you guys to speak about, okay? So I want you to, like I said, take your horse blinders off. Keep a very open mind. I want you to talk specifically about a medicine that you're carrying with your clan. Okay? Just one. Doesn't have to be all the medicines that we have out there. Just one very specific medicine. Okay? And if you don't know, ask. Okay? If you don't know a specific medicine, just ask. Okay? Now, humble. Okay, I'll give you a couple more minutes. Mia, this shouldn't go. Wait. Mia, okay. I'm glad that everybody is having good conversations here, and that your clan is, there's no confrontations yet. Because, like I said, confrontation is good. Opposition is good. The difference in between understanding this is that when we move forward as a clan, we have to make sure that we come to terms with understanding both sides. We have to listen to both stories. We have to understand where we're coming from and how we're going to resolve these kinds of things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come over to each one of these clans, and I want the leadership to stand up. Okay? We're going to start with Wabjeshi. So this is the leadership of this specific clan. I want you to speak your name, speak your clan. Okay?
Abojo and then I went Magnadok. My gun and Dishnakaz. Wabajashi and Dodam. My gun and then I went ma. Oshkigama me wajim Sokoy Edgewan and Donjaba. And I should not abandon it and thou Miss Wendan the way Medevion. So I one of the medicines that we were talking about was the weekend. It's really important to all of us, and a lot of us have experience with it growing up. A lot of us used it for when we had colds, when we had flus. Either it'd be boiled and we drink, and as we get older, we'd eat that root and use it to help with that digestion. Another teaching I was taught about that weekend is that it has fine roots that go off of it, and that's used as a protection medicine when you smudge with it. And so it's a very strong medicine for our people, and so that weekend is very important. I know in our territory in Curve Lake that the weekend has started to go away. It was being over harvested, And so a lot of our people would go and harvest Swebakok or Ninwish, that ginseng, and we'd go and trade it for that weekend. And that's how important it was to our people. And so even when we speak, we'll put a little bit of weekend and we'll chew on it. And a lot of our singers, they'll use that too, so that they can sing with that good voice. And so that's what I'd like to share from our clan. And may watch.
Hamigwech, Habijashi. So we'll move over to our Hoof clan members. Your appointed leadership. Nani Buen.
Ani Niganzit Nimkibenes Dijnakas Edik Dodem Chigin Donji. Hello everyone, my name is Pierre Daboski. I'm Caribou Clan from Chiging First Nation. And one of the medicines we had was very nice in our discussion, you know. It was we were all giggling about on who to appoint leader and whatnot. But the thing that I think I should have never mentioned, that I'm part of the Anishinaabeg Nation Youth Council, and they're like, he needs practice. So I immediately got outvoted after that. But the medicine we talked about was cedar and the healing properties of it. Of, you know, when the pandemic first started and everybody started picking it and boiling it down and drinking it and just having it in the house, you know, above your doorways and above your windows. And it really resonated with me too, because my grandfather was on the land all the time. And he used cedar in almost every sort of his daily life, whether I ever realized it or not. Even within the sugar bush season now, you know, he would go to the front of the house and grab a nice little branch of cedar, and he'd bring it to the sugar camp, and we would have tea there, whether that tea was sweetened by maple sap or even the maple syrup. But that was something he always did. And talking about cedar really resonated. A lot of conversation within our group. You know, a little family reunion happening. Turned out I'm related to quite a few of my council here. But you know, we talk about quite a bit the healing properties of cedar, and also the singing, that we bring a sound to the nation as well. We have a guitarist in the group. You know, we got a couple powwow singers, and I believe I did well. I hope. Chimigwech.
Nishinago. We'll move over here to Migiza. Awishaid.
Our group has selected for me to represent our clan. Gijtos Dijnakas, Migize Dodem. Our group here today as well, some of them have because we're all on this learning journey and rediscovering our taking back what was always ours. Group member here has realized that she is from this clan, and just found out like almost quite a short time before she came to this clan. So it's really exciting and invigorating to see that that our culture and tradition is coming to the forefront, and it's reawakening what was ours. And so in our group discussion here, we talked about a few different medicines, and one of them as well was the cedar. The cedar has a lot of healing properties, has a lot of good vitamins and minerals, lots of vitamin C in it, and it's really really good for healing and colds and stuff. And it really cleanses the air, gives the air quality environment a really good peaceful feeling. And it also, I think, because it's in our blood memory, we remember those the sense and the smell of what was always ours. So it's reawakening as well. And we had a few mention of the red willow and the minikin. which is good for our aches and pains. So yeah, we had a really good discussion about the healing properties and how we're relearning as well our medicines that we at one time didn't really know about. So, but it's good to keep it going and to teach our youth and to access and utilize our medicines, that we don't have to run to the pharmacy where that's where they got their properties for healing medicines is from the plants as well anyway. So with that, miigwech for listening. There's a lot of women in our group.
Miigwech. Move over here to Chichok.
Anem bojo kinawea megise beboya indigenous cause taganing donjaba shage and dodem Nishnabe Ninendao. So I was asked to speak for the Crane Clan, and one of our characteristics is that we share knowledge and share teachings. And we were sitting here and we were sharing those teachings of where we're from and different medicines and stuff like that. And one of them that came up that we all use is sema, tobacco. And the teaching I got was that, all teachings, there's some truth to all of them, right? You can't say no to any teaching. So take every teaching with grains of salt, and you always get knowledge from everything. So the teaching I got about sema, because as Anishinaabe people, we're medicine people, right? Like we know medicines inside out. What's the medicinal properties of tobacco? It's a mind medicine. It's not a physical medicine. And that's a big distinction between Anishinaabe people and Jaganash people, is that we understand that there's not just physical attributes to sickness, right? There's different things. Sema puts you in that thankfulness. You're always thankful. It's a gift. So you always have to lead with that thankfulness for what you have already. And when you're thankful for what you have, you're never trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're never looking at the grass is never greener on that side. You're happy with what you have. So that's what that sema is. It's a mind medicine. Miigwech.
So I want to say Chimigwech to one of our leadership clans, Chieftain Clan. Here's another Chieftain Clan.
Miigwech, Melody Cerna, Turtle Clan. I'm from the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa Indians out in North Dakota. And I was invited here by some of our beautiful Anishinaabe folks up here with First Nations and Chigging. I was asked to speak for our clan, and we're Turtle, and we were talking about some of the characteristics in our clan, and we were actually thinking about the medicines that are relative to our clan specifically versus, I guess, just medicine. And one of the ones that we were talking about is the water plantain and the healing properties that they've used, and talking about its smooth side and its rough side and the different properties that has. We were also talking about sweetgrass and how it grows in the water and why that was so important. One of the things that I mentioned is I use it and I carry it with me to call my ancestors when I need guidance, when I looking at things from this governance characteristic that we have. I tend to like that and ask my ancestors for guidance. And then one of my other clan members was talking about water. That is our medicine. We come from water. We're born in water. We develop who we are in the water. And I think that's one of the most important medicines that I think we don't appreciate as much. While we have our water ceremonies, we talk about our 4 main medicines. And sometimes I think we just forget about the water. And as a water clan, we just want to honor that, honor the water, and honor all of the things that come from our beautiful clan and the characteristics that come from each one of us as well. Miigwech.
Nishin, Miigwech. And we'll move over here to Hmong.
Why is everyone looking at me? When I was young, beam got multiple my English nagash, mang do them. I think I make shingen is snowbeck in Donjaba. My English minado, min the moye and do. Basic niche, sway, and Nishnabe, nin, Nishnabe kwe. My Manda Gima for the Loon clan. So a little bit of Anishinaabe Moin. These three here, my family, lifted me up to stand here in front of you to share what little we know. And there wasn't any conflict, which is good. The question that my brother there asked for us to speak about had to do with medicine. We went further because that's our gift as Loon Clan. So we did talk a little bit about a physical medicine. My sister here spoke about that sweetgrass and what that meant to her and how her grandmother had shared that with her and taught her about where that grows in relation to why maybe loons are drawn to that and why she has that ability to harvest and grow and share that knowledge. But we also spoke about the metaphysical gifts being Mong Do Dem. Some are here. Some are here as a guideline. It says that we're responsible for internal leadership. I didn't know that because I was part of that system and taken away. I'm also part of a system where there was incest. So my father is my grandfather, and that's okay. And my mom is my mom. So we were confused when we had to go look for that clan. And when we went to go look for that clan from the territory that we're born into, they said it follows the mom. And they said for me it wouldn't matter either way if it was the dad because of your situation. And that brought humor and healing. Eh? So this is why this one here beside me is my son, is Hmong. But I have other children that went to go look, and there's something different. They sit over there, actually. They're bears. So we're responsible for internal leadership and governance. I don't like that word, governance. Because I have an understanding of inherent responsibility. And that is to ensure that each voice is heard. And that is to ensure that if something might not be correct, to call it out. Or if there's conflict, to be that voice. Oftentimes, I have a friend, Gima Dean Sayers, that's in Bajawan. And he is Crane. And we have humorous conflicts sometimes when we sit in these circles and have pipe ceremonies. And sometimes we have to go and talk to that fish clan. Most of the time we don't. Because we both understand our role in society and work well in balance. Listening yesterday to my brother here and the head Gishgik talk about songs and stories. With my journeys, I was reminded by someone over there in the Bear Clan of one of our stories, Adzakan's stories, about a time when Nana Bujo was walking through the bush and he was real hungry. And he just thought, oh man, I'm so hungry and I'm kind of tired and I'm going to think of a way to get some fast food. So as he's walking along, he sees a pond down the way there. And in that pond are water beings like ducks and geese. And you guys know the water beings. So he approaches them and he says, hey guys, there's this real big ceremony I'm going to put on later. You guys are all invited. And they all kind of say, well, I don't know. Because they know Nana Bujo's a little bit of a trickster. Eh? Oh, I don't know about that. And Nana Bujo just says, oh, no, come on. Like, everybody's coming. In fact, like, you're being invited because, like, there's this really cool honor song that came. And we're going to sing that for you. So, I'll be over there if you guys decide to come, right? And they did what we did just now. They talk amongst themselves. You guys, how you talked amongst yourselves. And they decided that they were going to go. So they went. And they, like this circle here and how there's doorways. They came and Peugeot says, oh, Ambe, Bindigan. Come on into the circle. We're going to sing. And he says, I have this very good song. It's an honor song for you. But it's so, so powerful. Like all of the stuff that we do, especially when we're in circle, that I'm going to need you to close your eyes. And the ducks are like, oh, I don't know about that. The water beings are like, oh, I don't know about that. He's like, no, come on, this is an honor. This is honor for you. And because it's so powerful, you have to close your eyes. And I'm going to start. And he starts to sing on his doagan, his drum there, drums away. And the water beings are going around dancing. And Nana Peugeot is just sitting there going, ha, 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 right? And sure enough, as he's drumming and the water beings go by, he reaches out and grabs them by the neck and just kind of puts it down. Haha, that's my first fast food meal. And he still starts drumming along. And he's doing that again, grabbing some more. But there's this one water being that kind of had the feeling or intuition or spirit or that something's not right here. And he opened his eyes. And he saw what Nana Peugeot was doing. And he told all the other ones there, Wanaskan, wake up. He's killing all of you. And they woke up and they were able to get out of there. And that one water being, as he's going by, Nana Peugeot grabs him and wrings his neck. And says, you're not supposed to open your eyes. Your eyes are going to be red now from here on out. And Nana Peugeot let go. And you could still see the rings around its neck. And if that wasn't good enough, he grabbed that water being and he gave it a kick it all the way back to the pond. So there's a water being out there, and I think it's pretty obvious. I'm supposed to ask you what it is, but that has a squished in butt, rings around its neck, and red eyes. And sharing part of that story is whatever it is within the humans that needs to be corrected, whether it's ego or something else. If something doesn't feel right, we're the ones that stand up and say, hey, wait a minute. Something's not right about this. And we sit in council among ourselves and our sub-clans, and we seek counsel from the other leadership, and we seek counsel from our turtles, and we talk about things so that we can understand what's happening and give thanks for the lessons that are there. So that's a different kind of medicine, not just the sweetgrass that my sister shared, but some of our Adzakan stories and the teachings that are in there. Oh, miigwech.
Bathnishin, miigwech. Cool.
Bojo. Gishkandak nene, just the cause. Pico River, Donjaba, Makwadodo. There was a lot that was shared in our little circle of Makwa here. Minigan. It's made in the spring. A lot of the medicine that we gather for that Minigan only comes around once a year. Just like to share a little bit about that Minigan. I have $7, and I'm surrounded by women over here. One of my daughters was teething. She got pretty red. I said, Mama, put us some of that Minigan. Probably in a couple hours it'll be all healed up. So within a couple hours, sure enough, was healed. So I've had that mitigant, I don't know for how long, but one of my friends had that, passed that on. He says, you don't have to put that in the fridge. Just leave it out. It'll be fine. So I don't know how long, like I said, maybe 6-7 years I've had that. I don't know what I did with the cap, but the cap is missing now. So we talked about a lot of things here this morning, and one of my friends, one of the elders here, always have a bear claw with you, he said to me. He says, you never know when you're going to need. We talked about the bear claw. So just scrape a little bit off. Scrape a little bit off because he's always digging for medicine. Always digging. So one of our friends was having something wrong with his heart. Said boil that and take some of that shaving off that claw and put it in and drink it as a tea. So I always remember with those elders, they say is that always have something, because we're our medicine. We're medicine people, protectors, but we also share that medicine with others. Miigwech.
Ačiū, miigwech, Dolamok. Now you see how Tjajgo, this is how we appoint leadership. But I forgot to mention these two clans. What the purpose, I didn't explain the sub-clans of each one of these. Where's the wolf clan sitting? Abishai, put your hands up. The individuals of the wolf clan sit beneath Ko. It's a subcategory. Where is the geese clan? They sit with the loon. So before we go any further, before I explain these last two clans, we're going to take a little break. But before we take a little break, I want you to look around at these different clans. Notice which one is a little bit larger than the others. And which one is the smaller ones. And then I want you to think about this. This is where our humor comes into play. Every single clan was giggling and laughing at something at some point. Because in between each one of these clans as well, there's lodges that sit there as well. Different lodges. And I acknowledge all of them. We have Medewan Lodge, Rain Dance, Sun Dance, Windakokonak, Wabno. All these different lodges that have joined together in unison to acknowledge one another and recognize these teachings and show each one of these grandfather teachings how they're incorporated, because the grandfather teachings are incorporated in every single clan. We just highlight specific ones. That's it. And I want you to think about the characteristics of what you just heard from each clan. Which one was speaking the loudest? Which one was giggling away the most? Which one was very deep and slow because they just woke up out of their hibernation? they want their fish because they're getting grumpy for fish. And then the ones that were trying to get through their conversation quick, fast. And then the ones that were trying to educate you on cedar, even giving you the scientific component of it. Each one of these characteristics are very, very important to have. Everything, especially with the individual clans. And then we look at the wisdom and knowledge that our fish clans carry and how they're trying to explain to you every single component of why water was so beneficial and giving you even the scientific points of their own intelligence of that specific. This is how important our nation is. This is how important our clan systems are. This is why we're doing this. I want you to take away something that you guys have spoken about today, just in your specific clans, individually. We're going to take a little break. We're going to come right back exactly where we are. I want you guys to sit exactly where you are when we come back. I want you to stretch your legs, have a quick break. And, I don't know, 15 minutes, I guess. I think that's what the usual, 15 minutes. Now,